Here we are, another early morning, Thunder Ridge Homestead. We're gonna do a little more talking about pasture today. Like I've told you before, we have a grass-fed operation here where our turkeys, our chickens, and our Katahdin sheep are all fed predominantly on this pasture. And we're gonna just go for a little walk today to kind of look the pasture over. And I've showed you a little bit of it in the front, but we're gonna do a little looking and just kind of see the condition of this pasture. My husband mows this pasture approximately once every week or 2 weeks. I think he's got it, like I said, at 4 or 5 inches on his mower. It's a finished cut mower deck, not a rough cut. The biggest part of the reason is we're trying to eliminate as much noxious weeds as possible. This is a common nettle in there. We have various kinds of grass. We have clover. We have some weeds. We have certain places in the pasture now that are running barren. Because like I said, this is the very end of July. We're walking through this pasture, taking a look at it. This is one of our problem areas right here. This is Creeping Charlie. It's an indication, hold it real still for a second, see if you can get it. This is an indicator of low boron in our pasture. So we're gonna have to put some boron treatment, which is basically the borax like you use for laundry treatment. Other legumes and things like that really like it. So it's a good treatment to put on a pasture, but you have to be very judicious about it. If you put too much, you can actually cause grasses to die. We don't want that. One of the things we're looking at in this pasture as we walk along today, you can see over here, we've still got places where we've been clearing weeds, brush. Spots in this pasture, they're just about to the point of being overgrazed. You see this? There's certain places where the grass isn't growing as quickly, and there's other places where it's still pretty lush. And this is where our pasture's at right now. You see, we've got, this might be, I think that's Timothy actually, right there. Timothy grass. Missouri Department of Conservation recommends that you stop mowing the end of July and not mow again until spring. The purpose of that is because August is an extremely dry, hot month, usually in Missouri, and we've already been having lots of 100-degree days. Today's not one of them, thank goodness. But the grass, most of the cool season grasses, will stop producing, and when they stop producing, you can see here just real quick how some of this plant's are, so you can see by my grossy little foot, but some of these grass plants are pretty tall. So it's patchy. Parts are tall, parts are not. The purpose of not mowing anymore until spring is to do what they call stockpiling. We stockpile the grass. It's supposed to allow the grass to grow thick and tall. The sheep will keep it down a little bit, but then when the cold weather sets in and the plants stop growing, there will still be forage out here for these animals. It'll be in the form of what they call standing hay. It'll be dry. It won't have nearly the nutritional value that this fresh green grass does, but it'll be better than cut hay. So the purpose of that is we're going to try to see if this works this year. I'm going to bring you along, and we're going to kind of hopefully do a couple of these pasture walks every now and then, see how it's all turning out, see if it's really going to work for us to stockpile. My husband is very nervous about this because we've been battling these dock weeds and other noxious weeds, cockleburs, pokeweed. We've been really battling them, and he's worried that it's going to come back too soon if we leave it alone. But it can't hurt to try, so we just got to give it a shot and see if this works. If it does work, it means it'll cut down our dependence on purchased hay, and it should help the pasture grasses survive the winter better, because the upper growth actually protects them from the cold temperatures, kind of insulates the roots. So we're going to try to see how that works. Hopefully it will work. I'll just kind of bring you along on this journey. Okay, we're going to do a little pasture update on the stockpiling of grass. This is October the 1st. I want you to just see how the grass is doing. We've still got 4 sheep on it eating, so you know, they're doing their little efficient best, as you can see, to make use of this field. There is still quite a bit of clover in here. We have, of course, some taller grasses that are going to seed. We have some timothy coming to seed right there. Weeds, so far so good. We have a little crop of dock sprouting right up here in the clover, which was the only thing that grew in this pasture when we first started out. The sheep are keeping it down so far. This is Bruce, and he's 6 months. This one looking at me in the middle there is Bailey, and he's also 6 months. He's our twin wether. He's the one that's going to go to the freezer soon. So just a little pasture update on how the process of stockpiling is going on October the 1st, 2016. Okay, this is end of January 2017. I'm just doing a little bit of recording as far as the grass situation is concerned, because this is the first year we've tried stockpiling our grass. Just wanted to show you how that goes. Some places we have some tall overgrowth, and other places they have eaten it down to like nothingness. So that's just the way it is right now. They have been grazing all winter though. and I had 5 bales of brome hay and 10 bales of alfalfa, and I still have hay left into January with two ewes, and I was feeding a ram and a wether for a while too, so that's pretty good. Doing good so far, saving money and keeping them as grass fed as possible. Okay, here we are. It's mid-March of 2017, and we've been doing this little experiment with stockpiling the grass to give the sheep something to eat over the winter. I think that the most important thing that it did to leave the grass unmowed since July of last year was it protected the ground from some of the wind erosion that we have around here. As you can see now, just to show you a little bit of it right here, but we've got some of the new grass coming up within the old grass to start the new season. About another couple weeks and my husband will be mowing, and he'll just mow it down short, and then we'll let the new grass continue to grow on. That'll eliminate any thatch or anything like that in the old grass. As you can see, the sheep are already making good use of this new spring grass. They're really working to get down to every little bit of it. But I think overall this grass stockpiling has been a success this year. It's a good thing to try. I think that there was several days this winter, although we had a very mild winter, there were several days this winter that the sheep were out grazing that they wouldn't have been able to otherwise, because even though we had snow on the ground, there was still stuff sticking up that they could work on and eat, and it gave them a little bit of extra dry matter, and every little bit that they can harvest for themselves is something that I don't have to buy in the form of hay. So I think all in all it was a success this year. I just wanted to take an opportunity to show you what we were doing, and I'm going to give you a few little clips at various parts of our pasture. This front part of the pasture is typically the shortest. It was severely overgrazed when we first started the project of getting our pasture back in shape, and we also had huge stands of dockweed in here to start with, so this is probably the least, takes the longest for it to recover fully. But there is a lot of clover and other grasses in here, so. Okay, I'm going to show you the back part of the pasture now too. Okay, we are in the month of May, the end of May now, and this is 11 months since our stockpiling experiment, and I'm just going to walk you along a little bit, show you some of the pasture. We do still have certain areas where the pasture's close, but like I said, overall I think this year of stockpiling our pasture has improved it. It has thickened it. This is an area where we had chronic dock, and now we have quite a bit of lush grass. We still have some creeping Charlie problems. But in a lot of areas, we have a lot of nice, thick, lush grass in this pasture. So, all in all, stockpiling was a great success. We'll be doing it again next year. Hopefully every year the pasture will improve and continue to improve. But I just wanted you to see the pasture's been mowed twice now since we started. It's been a very wet and cool spring. So he mowed at the end of April, and he's mowed once in this part of May so far. And this is what our pasture's looking like. Right now we have 2 ewes and 4 lambs on the pasture. So very few places that are patchy. We did have a little bit of mold damage, and other than that, pasture's in good shape. If you're interested in trying this technique, contact your local agricultural university, because they have information on your area. They will be able to tell you when to do your last mowing, and then you can use the grass as standing hay, and it'll help to improve your pasture overall. I highly recommend it.